Hey guys, welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Vanessa Canby and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 5 tips for a pain-free birth without pain medication. So basically, I'm obviously not a doctor, this is just all my personal experience and, you know, what I learned along the way. So I've had 2 kids myself, both of them I've had naturally and without any pain medication. I knew that I wanted to do this before I had the kids, but I will link down below my birth story of Maya and you can, you know, go through the whole process there if you fancy. So tip number 1 is to definitely get in the right mindset whilst you're pregnant or before, you know, you're actually at the stage of giving birth. I, knew that I wanted to have a natural birth. You know, I visualized exactly how I wanted it to be. Obviously, it's not always going to be exactly how you want it to be, but if you can prepare your mind as much as you can, then you're ready when you get to that stage of being in labor. I personally followed a hypnobirthing sort of book and it had like a CD which I listened to. I didn't read the book from like front to back because if you know me, you know that I actually love books but I never like finish them. But anyway, I listened to the CD which was really helpful and it basically talks about your body and what your body needs to go through. Basically your body is made in a way that it can give birth. Talks you through the different muscles and what's going to happen and all that sort of stuff basically. Number 2 is relax. This is the ultimate biggest one. If you tense your body, if you think this is going to be so painful, oh my gosh, you're in labor and you're just thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my whole entire life, which it's not. Your body tenses, which means the muscles tense up, which means they're trying to help you give birth. They are giving birth. Your muscles are the ones giving birth, really. So if you tense them and they're trying to do what they're trying to do, which is contract and let the baby come down, it's harder for them to do that job. So, how's that going to work, basically? So if you relax, it basically allows the muscles to do what they need to do, which is to contract and, help the baby come down and all the rest of it. So relax. Honestly, if you'd seen me throughout my labour, bearing in mind, by the way, it's not like I had a breezy 20-minute labour, arrive in the hospital and give birth 2 seconds later. No. I was in labour for 52 hours with my son and I was in labour for 24 hours with my daughter. And that's not like to scare anybody. That's just to let you know that it is possible. Even if it's a long labour, you just have to have patience and relax. Yes, it can be testing of your patience, but it is a real, you really find out that you can do this. Like, you are a superwoman. Number 3 is to stay active. So when you're in labour, don't just sit there or lie there. That's possibly the worst thing you could be doing. I'm really not like judging, if anyone has done this. But for me personally, lying down was not gonna work. If you actually think about what needs to happen in your body, the baby needs to go down. It needs to like make its way down to come out. If you're lying down, you're like working against gravity. If you stand up, of course, it's gonna help, with the gravity. So I stayed active. I lapped the hospital. This was with my daughter. With my son, I stayed at home, like right up until I was about 5 centimeters. With my daughter, actually the same. When I went in, I was 4 centimeters, but it was daytime, whereas with my son, it was nighttime. It was like during the night that I was actually in the end stages. So I wasn't walking around outside, but in the room I was pacing and doing all sorts of things. And I've got one really good tip actually, which is to sort of like rock your hips from side to side. I'll do a demonstration. And for me, I went on my tiptoes, I rocked my hips side to side, and I did my breathing. And that was like the best thing for me. I felt like that really let me relax, and the rocking helps, that motion helps like the baby come down, I think. So number 4 is to, if you can, use a birthing pool. So with my son, actually, when I went in the birthing pool, it slowed everything down. And so the midwife that I had then was like, oh, everything's slowing down, like, you need to get out, you know, like, you need to, that, anyway, that's another story. So I didn't really get the chance of using it then, but I knew that when I went in there, I just thought, oh my goodness, this is so relaxing, this is the best thing ever. Because obviously you're gonna get tired, you know. Whereas with my daughter, the same thing happened. As soon as I went in the pool, everything slowed down. But I was like, I need this break. I need to take this time for myself. I need to just relax. And yeah, basically, you know. So that's what I did. I went in with her, but that midwife let me play that out. They let me stay in the pool until she came out, which was probably like an hour. To be honest, I did get a bit hot, and because the pool is the same temperature as your body, but my husband just held like a cold pack over my head, and that was so relaxing. I fell asleep between contractions, so I'd have a contraction and I'd fall asleep for, what was it, like, how far apart were they? Maybe like, you know, a couple minutes. Then I woke up, had the next contractions, fell asleep. This was like just before she came out. So, you know guys, you can do this. It's actually the best experience ever. My final tip is to trust your body and listen to your body. So as I've said before, your body actually does know what it's doing, believe it or not. Just like breathing, your body knows what it's doing. For example, you know, we're breathing all the time. We're not consciously telling each breath to come out, you know, it just happens. Our body is an absolutely amazing thing. Insides know what they're doing, so trust them. Trust your body that it knows what it's doing. I really can't stress this one enough, especially when it gets into the end stages, when the baby's coming down. You know when you have to push. You have like an overwhelming feeling of, I need to push now. This is if you have no pain meds, by the way. This isn't the case if you do have pain meds, because you don't know when to push, because you're numb basically from there down. So that's when things like tearing can occur, because you don't feel what's going on, so you just kind of push when the doctor tells you to push. So if you're not on pain meds, you can feel everything that's going on. That's definitely a positive thing. And you know when to push. You have like an overwhelming feeling of like, push now. So you push then, and then it goes away. Obviously, it's not a continuous thing. This is another thing I feel like people think about when you're in labour. It's like continuous. You get breaks, obviously. So you're having contractions for, let's say, 1 minute, you might have like 5-minute break. Push when your body tells you to push, because then that's when you reduce things like tearing and things like that, because you're pushing when you need to and when the baby's right at the bottom and ready to come out. With my first birth, actually, I listened to the midwife and I pushed way before I was meant to start to push, now that I know second time round, because I wasn't having that urge to push yet, and so that meant I was pushing for like longer than I needed to be pushing, basically, because the baby wasn't ready to come out yet. Whereas with my daughter, my midwife was amazing. She was like, just listen to your body, you know what to do. Honestly, that was the best thing ever. Trust yourself as well. Like, if you've got an instinct, if you've got a gut feeling, you can actually, in the UK, if you've got a bad experience with a midwife, you can actually ask to change midwives. A lot of people don't know that, but you can, you know, if you're not gelling or something like that, or if they've not got the same feelings or whatever, you know, they don't agree with the way, or, you know, whatever it is, you can actually ask to change midwives. I gave birth in a birthing centre, so I was lucky enough to not really have the pressures of having to take medication, but I did get some of those pressures. But so I hope those 5 things help you. Good luck with your birth. I'm so excited for you. Yes, it might not always go to plan, but have a plan B, maybe. I don't think I did, but anyway. Trust your gut and it's going to be amazing. I was saying to my husband that if I don't want to have any more kids, but I would give birth again in a heartbeat. I absolutely love the birthing experience. It's the best thing that I've ever experienced before, I think. Like, you know, just that feeling of you've grown this child inside you and you've given birth to them, and now you've created a whole human being with hair, fingernails, skin, organs, all inside of your body. Like, isn't that the most amazing thing ever? Anyway, I'm getting too excited now. Okay, Vanessa. Thanks for watching, guys, and please subscribe. It would literally mean the world to me. Thanks for watching, guys. See you. Bye.